Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how you use Aerodactyl and Mega Aerodactyl. And seriously, guys, why is no one using Aerodactyl? Like, this is the one that gets me all riled up, because Aerodactyl has such good stats that people are choosing to use Mega Manectric as their kind of go-to sweeper, that people are trying to use pretty much any other sweeper but Mega Aerodactyl, and Aerodactyl has some of the best stats in the game. That it has some of the highest attack, 135 attack on top of a 150 speed. You don't even have to give it any kind of speedy nature, that you go full on into that 135 attack, you break 400 attack, you almost get to 400 speed, and then you have the ability Tough Claws, which gives you 30% more damage on contact moves, which are pretty much all of them. Why haven't you picked up Aerodactyl yet? I don't even care about its typing. Rock Flying, sure, you're weak against everything under the sun, but in the end, it doesn't really matter because you're a sweeper. That sweepers aren't supposed to care about super effective hits or anything like that. This is a Mega Aerodactyl. Has so much potential. Pokemon Showdown, do your magic, because we get to see all those stats add up. We get to see the adamant nature. We get to see the beauty of everything falling together. Rock Slide, stab, Stone Edge, stab, huge amounts of damage. Unfortunately, those don't get Tough Claws, but everything else does. Fly. You can use Fly for 90 base power move that's going to make contact, that kind of has invulnerability, so you can use it to dodge out some things. Sure, it leaves you vulnerable to setup to a degree, but in the end, you're going to be able to really just obliterate your opponent from a huge boosted move that's going to just wreck them. You have Crunch. That's going to be awesome. You have Ice Fang. Ice coverage is always a good thing. You look to hit your opponent super effective, and then they go away either from stab or Tough Claws boost. You also have other moves that you can use, like Fire Fang, Iron Head, Thunder Fang, even Taunt. You can go and shut down people with Taunt, and then set up on them with like a Fire Fang, Ice Fang, anything. There's so much potential, whatever you want on a moveset, whatever weaknesses, whatever coverage you don't have on your team, Aerodactyl is there. And then there's doubles. Now, Aerodactyl fortunately does get a bit more play in doubles, and it likes being a jolly mofo that doesn't get outsped by anything, that sets up really hard. The idea here is that you kind of have a super speedy Rock Slide, so 30% chance to flinch both of your opponents to begin with. If you have another speedy Rock Slide, that works out well. I like running Dugtrio Aerodactyl. I think it's kind of funny and trolly. But then you have Skydrop. Skydrop is going to be excellent because your speed makes it to where you essentially turn the battle into a 1v1. Skydrop, you take your opponent away. Remember, that's going to get Tough Claws and Stab Boost, so that's going to get a huge amount of damage. And then if you have a really fast or a really strong Pokemon, you go and delete the opponent's other Pokemon. Skydrop lands, does damage, your opponent retaliates, but in the end, you still plus really hard. You also have Protect to absorb damage, and I just have Earthquake here to show. It even gets Earthquake. It gets Aqua Tail. It gets so many moves that whatever you want. I would also probably just have like an Ice Fang, because there's a lot of Garchomps, there's a lot of Salamence, there's a lot of Pokemon that just don't like getting hit by ice, and Aerodactyl is okay with dishing out those ice attacks. Then we have this Aerodactyl set. This is going to be a very strong set. Focus Sash, Tailwind, Wide Guard, it's going to be doubles, and the idea here is you want to kind of set up for huge sweeping potential for your side. That Focus Sash, if you don't get double hit, like if you don't get focus fired, you're going to be able to set up a Tailwind. After that, you're going to have a speedy Skydrop with your opponent, or with your ally having a Tailwind boost. Wide Guard is also very nice, because if you outplay your opponent on Wide Guard, that has some huge setup potential. And then I have Roost, because you might as well get some health back if you feel that, your opponent is going to lose a Pokemon that turn, or if you feel that you're not getting focused. Instead of having Protect, kind of Roost, get some free health, and then play around it like that, because if you're spamming Wide Guard, your opponent might not try to throw that double hit move, and then you can be like, well, they're not going to hit Aerodactyl, they're going to hit the Pokemon that's boosted by Tailwind that's wrecking them. I might as well get a free Roost, go into Skydrop. It's just a lot of options on this set. The Unnerve ability will also make it to where your opponent won't be able to Lumberry, Citrus Berry, anything like that. So that could just be its own little can of worms to really make your opponent's day. Just use Aerodactyl, guys. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Aerodactyl's awesome. Mega Aerodactyl's more awesome. Like, just comparing stats, it has more speed and attack than Mega Manectric. It outspeeds that Pokemon if you're running the same kind of nature. And then even then, you have more speed and coverage than a lot of other Pokemon. It's awesome. Go use it.